God, and it's me and it's you. Glistening gold crumbles too. There's a night sky, there's a new way that I'm certain I might find. But until then and for now, friend, I've sure got to make up my mind. I've sure got to make up my mind. Hello. Check. Hello. 1, 1, 2. Check. All right. Welcome everybody. I'm going to say goodbye to the hot dog. And we're going to get started. Just wanted to express my appreciation for 200 followers, 200 subscribers on this channel. That's pretty gnarly. Thank you guys for being here. It's like really cool. And I know I got the shitty mic on today, but or the shitty camera on, but I got the good mic. And I'm gonna read the 20-page poem from my recently republished zine called Ramble Number 1. If you want a copy, you can get it at the link in the description. There's two other poems in here, but this one, it's just something I've been wanting to read for a while on camera, and I need to get in the habit of doing it, and I'm going to practice doing it. And this seemed like a really good occasion to dust it off. I got my new edited copy of it. I got like this weird black eye looking thing going with this light. I didn't get in a fight, I promise. As far as I know. Okay, no laughing. It's too loud. Anybody got notes on the audio? Coming through okay, everything like that? We all good? Well, thank you guys seriously for being here. And yeah, it's very important to me. Helps me feel good. So this is my anti-fascist poetry. This is called 30 April 2017. Ain't it just like a processed ecosystem crutch that blends mindlessly to the transpirations of any effect? And isn't that what we ought to do in the first place? Shouldn't the broad supervisory entity also be observed? And that the amount of anything you have doesn't mean shit? And that the accommodations are just the beginning, as the harboring of any sort of idiom ought to have the same effect on any substance, that the stain on this planet is the only thing you're making, and might as well stain it good, 'cause it's all you have moving through this vast expanse of reality, bending and curving together, making an appearance and investing ourselves in each other for safekeeping. And I'll hold on to a bit of you too, because we all bleed, but sometimes having someone there when it's going on makes the wound go away faster. And that we are all falling to make something real, make an ostensible forgiveness for anyone that we can reach, and to show that the immutable forgiveness abounds much more strongly than any headline, and that those who report on ignorance are themselves putting it into focus, and that those who perpetuate the strength given to them are using that strength whether they know it or not, and that we can all benefit from a little compassion and forgiveness, and give as you would give anything, as there is no cost to share what you have when the sun goes down on us all, and we will all have nothing then. So might as well laugh while we can and give everything that we have away, 'cause someone else would sure enjoy it. Enjoy it being in and around the phosphorus flashes, ignite the crystalline petrification of anyone that doesn't continue, that the stone can come to define you, and that it seems to be moving and growing, and that it will not slow down for anything now, that it barrels on past, that it just was looking at something behind you, and you were just standing in the way of an ostensible beast, but had gone unnoticed for your lack of concern on the matter, that you will speak when you want to speak, and that the figures in your mind may be calculating a battle that is not really going on, but that you know that it must go on for everybody, and that it is no easier for anyone else than it is for you, and maybe we're all trying to prove something that cannot be proven, that the glorifying significance is lost on everyone that even tries, and that there is sometimes no question about who needs the most guidance, as we are all struggling, paddling and treading water that is toxic, treading judgment, treading the very waters that many have decided to flood us with, the inescapable fashion of history passing itself on through the vacant vessels, waiting to sop it up and perpetuate its travesties, that we ought to have the power to threaten entire nations, that we ought to sit by while all of this madness takes place, and the figments don't really have an effect? Or are we so pacified by fiction in the movies we watch that the butterfly flying outside your window has nothing to do with you, and the breeze doesn't know what you are thinking, and the sun isn't constantly trying to make you smile, and at some distance your target is lost, and you have no way to track whether you have a path to follow, or are these just dead ends that we could watch the grass grow and have a more meaningful experience? How mad would we be when someone cut the grass? How invested would we get into the most silly little things that have no weight in the grand scheme of things? That whatever meaningless thing we are doing will have any impact on whether the homeless will be fed. That no hours I spend will take anything away from someone else. That as we pass through, neglect is something real, and there is an effect on the things that we neglect, and that the snapshots of time we are missing do not cease to exist without our observance, and that I am in control of the things that I observe, and that I can tell the difference when there is nothing around, or does it all come out to the same? In the end, does it all just average out into the same probability that we exist in the first place? That just a few million years from now it will be as nothing happened here, that there is nothing going on here of note, and that has been the way that it has been for a long time, and that is the way that it will continue, and that nothing will stand out so much that it cannot be ignored, and the horrific sights and sounds we all hear are not really there. The dust did not gather itself, and the wonders that we know and share are the only ones that exist. No, the vibrations never continue, and the light does not bend in a prism. The trees know nothing, and the obliteration of a flower means nothing, as the space that is occupied has no recourse. The way that things are, the way that it has been made up to decipher the nonsense having a category all to itself, and the limit of nature has no bounds, that it can create or destroy whatever it is, that it will continue to do so for a long time, so might as well embrace the inevitable, might as well give nothing what it already owns. Know that the impetus of anything will create some space for nothing to exist in, and that it will always have its place, no matter where it goes. No matter the sunsets of all the planets, you may only observe the ones that you watch go down, and there are a good many in any day on many planets. But there is one we all watch, and there is one darkness. But there is an observance that makes the whole thing spin, and monks all over the world stay up and watch and pray the world into being, and the job has to fall to someone somewhere who eats only bread and water and cleans the kitchen. But there are varying degrees in life can be observed at a distance or up close. It doesn't matter, because no matter what distance you happen to observe it from, you can always put things into focus if you want. You can always break down or build up whatever is important to you, and that's the beauty of it, that the growth that can happen for anyone can result in growth for everyone, that we may live our lives in peace and occasional discord, but that the overall peace was beautiful, that the echo of now will reverberate through the heavens, that nothing will go unturned, that sometimes a shift in perspective is all that is really necessary, that all we really need is a few other angles from which to look at things, and that perspective is inevitable, and that those you surround will stand up and at least listen, that they will send whatever help they are able, provided they continue to merge into a common understanding that there is no thing separating us from everything around us, that there is no bounty to be won other than the sweet phosphorescent, illuminating, cherishing, kindly smile that robs no one of anything save for ourselves for a moment, when we reach out instantaneously and acknowledge the emanating glow in another's footsteps. If the place reaches you in such a way, if the moment of all ticks on, then the understanding must have begun in you. The moment of all passes and continues just like anything else. Might that it sometimes flashes and speaks, but sometimes it is docile and warm, giving off life-giving energy, giving anything you can think of if you try, and that the justifications for giving just happen to be as irrelevant as you might think. That though the body moves, the mind has moved, and the time you spend between is the sacred space of now. That you can command, and that your body pushes what is left of it into action, and there will be sacred little of it left at all times. There will be sacred little of it left at times, but as you seep through each moment, there will always be a crack or pore for something to be guided into, and that somehow anything that continues, continues, and that anything that stops to observe can also continue. So an observance of the matter that happens to protrude from your palms happens to continue to do so, as not yet has it been replaced, but it cycles through with the rest of your body, and you're at many times one thing, and at moments all, and testing that truth is only a matter of moving your eyes across the room, as you will see the things of importance and things of no matter, but it would not be the place that you are without all things. As it happens, there is a question being answered now, there a rhyme being made, and a transfiguration happening, always in any of us, unless we have been put to sleep. And if that is the case, maybe some of us ought to dream. And isn't that a really telling thing, that the world ought to dream of itself through those of us who are alive? And that sleeping, though it be of no use to any of us who are awake, might somehow realize things upon us that bend the fabric of the waking experience. That you can tell someone of your dreams after you have awoken, and they become something to reason with and expand meaning where otherwise there would be none. Just seeing what has become of this place sometimes is enough to look around and ask what needs fixing. Just having a look around sees so many things through, and listening to anything that has a voice or anything is the author of some vibration lets you know that this is a place to put up the yellow sign, that you might slip if you walk this way, or that, oh, I've gone this way before, and you might want to walk a different way than has ever been walked. And that no two steps are ever the same, even when the path you're on is worn, and there's a mystical number of ways things can go. And you are the mystery, you are the choices you make, and the paths you turn away from. You are the is always, and a candle that is burning can enter eyes, that the candle may expire or burn the wick until it is no more. But what has it given light to? What bulb can replace its flicker? Just how black can an enclosed space be? Which things will continue to replace colors and sounds of cicadas chirping? All echoes come into focus. All thoughts live in their own way. All urine is sterile and fit for drinking if you are thirsty enough. And thirst is the answer to all of the questions being asked by the innumerable illuminations of silent faces hoping to consume something meaningful, when meaning is something to be made, and not to ask anything of anyone can turn out to be a worthy endeavor. That staring into nothingness is sometimes fruitful, and that you are able to stare and not be consumed, and to give others hope for looking for whatever it is that they might be searching, to open a door sometime and have a friendly face on the other side, looking into you and shouting smiles across all of your wounds, and that the light of the room cannot be replaced by any brightness, and a room can have things to say too, that we mutually endeavor into many things, and that the pictures you hang on your mantle have utter significance to anyone that crosses the threshold of your doorway, that though they may be unfamiliar faces, they have formed you in some way, and in some way speak from the frames they are contained in, and that the dust that has gathered anywhere doesn't relate the significance any place once had. Stipulations perpetuate, and it is our job to circumnavigate their implications. Like hallways are meant to be occupied the same as any room, and that walking around just might teach us as much as sitting might, but that it is important to note that both must be done in order to have any perspective, as the vanishing book, having been read, still has a speaker, and tracing any number of coping mechanisms will put you under the same spell, that the spell has been cast on you if you have been born, and that we can only manage to breathe as often as we must, and that at the breath you fill yourself with will inevitably cease, and that the air will still be available, or maybe it always finds its way back to being breath again, that even your carbon dioxide contains 2 atoms of oxygen, so you're just adding a bit of plant food now and again, but the plants no more, as the dogs sit around and sleep, so the plants sleep and they dream of us too. As I'm sure there has been a tree in your dream, and who is to say which one it was? And 2 cats play on a porch, and the doormat looks on shouting welcome, and the porch light is dim, but the cats play anyway. And a car drives through Manhattan, stopping at signals and arriving at destinations that are impossibilities for us, that the tires screech and so bats fly as they, and so too bats as they fly out from under a bridge, and flapping is heard by birds so sweet that we could never dream of flying down through the air, having only ourselves and no machine to propel us, to dive fully, and knowing the hope in our wings is the only thing there to save us from crashing into the very dirt we are comprised of. The cells alive with the vigor of electrons guarding our cores from themselves, just a mere shock of static, can elucidate things unknown, and the thoughts going on as they may will proliferate unimaginable tributaries that can unpack themselves. That the road walked down alone is an impossibility, and those who share your road may be unaware that there are those who built this road, that there where a road might not be, there is often a path, and that where there is no path, there is an adventure, and that there are many adventurers, but that some never find a place to settle down because they are too busy surviving or taking in anything that they can think of, that the path walked alone always leaves a trail, and there are those who enjoy mapping, and there are those who enjoy walking or carrying on, or there are those who just enjoy the fact that the map is there if they ever need guidance, and that walking alone can be a good unlike any other, that nothing can be put in its place, and especially not running, for running is only walking with impatience, or that its only function is to remove you from situations you'd rather not find yourself in, and that the cautious man never has to run, that she walks however it suits her, that brush might be observed, but that the colors in the flowers are that much sweeter when they are observed alone, and maybe we ought to walk for a long time. It could be that the space we put between ourselves and others is the space that defines us. But when we show them the path we are walking on, the separation becomes moot, that we walk alone never, and that things grow to be images of the sublime for anyone who wants to take in whatever it is we have to offer. The radiance of the exhibition is the only reason it has been put together, and the skyline is not aware of how picturesque it is, nor is anything fully aware, nor is any awareness any fuller than when it goes on, nor is any utterance significant, unless we are able to assign meaning to it, the despondent creatures we make of ourselves, being the only salvation we can afford. When there is so much more to be made of despondence, a thing so fragile that it only exists to mourn something perfect, and the fuller our despondence, the more we come to expect of life, when really we should be in awe of the thing that made us so downtrodden in the first place. To have been given the opportunity to see everything as it could be, and that fulfillment is possible even if it is lighted like a hallway that leads from one room to the next like a fork in the river that you took miles ago, and to be cooped up indoors, or to remember the rooms you have visited, wandering aimlessly forward when there may not be any more rooms to visit, but that sitting around doing nothing in the hallway can be just as valuable, perhaps more valuable than being in the rooms themselves. But that there is value always, and it glides around like a leaf in the air, distinguishing not what it lands on or by what force it is moved. Yeah. Cool. That was it. That was it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm guessing, I don't know, do we have anybody that's interested in hearing this single? Let me see if I can get it queued up. I might have to drag it into this playlist or something. Yeah, let me do some figuring here, and I'll get the single queued up. This is Oxygen. It's coming out tonight at midnight in a few hours. Hopefully it doesn't just start playing. No, okay. Let's see if I can find it now. But yeah, it's, I have not read that piece live ever, except for in front of a few people. But then definitely not ever on the internet or nothing. And I think I might, I mean, that felt pretty, you know, good enough to where I'll probably drop this and make this live public. I'm having trouble. Let's see. All right, so here comes the single. I need to figure out how I can listen also. Let's see. I'm gonna mute my mic and then I'm gonna turn it on.
breathe a lot of oxygen. You know, some people wish I'd quit, but life keeps you hanging on. Gotta change with it. I breathe a lot of oxygen. You know, some people wish I'd quit, life keeps you hanging on. You gotta change with it. true.